Hey, welcome back, everybody. This is the session 2 for the day. Policy, program, and practice updates. We're going to just have some discussion here about what community coalitions are doing to reduce underage drinking. So I do want to mention, I don't think I mentioned this earlier, but we have been approved for 14 McBAP credits. And so the only sessions that are not approved is this will be one of the sessions. Then tomorrow's session from 11:15 to 12:15 is not approved for a McBAP credit, but all the other credits were approved for one McBAP credit. So you have the opportunity to earn up to 14 credits. But Lisa, do you want to run us through the shout outs?
Sure will. Just a reminder of our process, you'll have up to 4 minutes, and we have had a few amendments to our list. So I'm just going to call you one by one, and if you're present, then we will unmute you and turn your camera on. Our first shout out is Marcel Arbuckle. Are you on, Marcel?
I don't believe that he is.
Okay. All right, moving on, Donna Hardees from CHS Up North Prevention.
I don't believe Donna is on either, but we can.
Okay, our list is gonna keep going. Mary Jo Harris, CARE of Southeastern Michigan.
Mary Jo is on. I'm going to promote her to a panelist, so I think that will enable her camera perhaps and maybe her audio. But Mary Jo?
Yep, can you hear me?
We can hear you, but I was hoping we could actually see you too, but.
I was hoping I was going to show like a 6-slide PowerPoint if I.
Okay, there we go. Mary Jo will be joining the event as a panelist, so I think it should give you capability here, Mary Jo.
Yep, give me 1 second here and see if I can do that. Well, let me go ahead and start talking. So I work at CARE of Southeastern Michigan, and I co-manage a coalition called Healthy Grosse Pointe and Harper Woods. Give me 1 second here because I really want to show this slide.
All right.
Together. I don't think it's going to let me do that, unfortunately. Shoot. Okay, so I co-manage a coalition called Healthy Grosse Pointe and Harper Woods. We work closely with 2 different school systems, Grosse Pointe and Harper Woods, and working with the counselors at Grosse Pointe schools and our local police department. We know that underage drinking is a problem here, like it is everywhere. One of the big issues that we have is that we know that many of our parents are providing alcohol to our teens. We've seen it at grad parties, at homecoming parties, at prom parties. So we did some research, and one of the campaigns we really liked is through Prevention Action Alliance called Parents Who Host Lose the Most. So before COVID, we put up banners at our local high schools so that when parents dropped off their kids, we do not have buses in this high school, they were able to see the banners there. We also did anytime the parents were at school through different back to school nights, any meetings, we had a table there and we had our information there for the parents. When COVID happened, we knew we weren't going to be at the schools. Obviously, the parents weren't either. So we bought Parents Who Host Lose the Most decals. They're see-through decals. And we approached all of our liquor stores, all the stores that sold alcohol, and we asked them to put these decals up. Out of the 15 stores I went to, 12 stores were very happy to do it. They put the decals on their front door. They also put them on all their refrigerated doors. So anytime somebody goes to open up the refrigerator to get the White Claws, the beer, whatever they will be buying, they see the sign, Parents Who Host Lose the Most. Just reminding them that providing alcohol to teens is unsafe, unhealthy, unacceptable, illegal, and just the wrong thing to do. So what we will be doing, since we can't get into the schools, is continuing to put these signs up at different places throughout the city, and also really using social media. There are so many different groups that parents are on, different Facebook groups, and so just putting the Parents Who Host the Most information on there.
Hey, Mary Jo, try again. I've made you a co-host, but I'm thinking you should be able to pull up your screen if you like, but you want to try one more time?
I will. No, it's not letting me. That's okay. I was just going to really show the Parents Who Host Lose the Most logo. Many of you are probably very familiar with that, but it's a really good logo because it's very simple and it just says right on it, Parents Who Host Lose the Most. So a great message to parents to know not to buy or provide alcohol for minors.
Okay, thank you so much, Mary Jo. Going on to Nick Klimp, Holly Area Community Coalition. Are you on, Nick? Yes, he raised his hand. So can you can you find him with the hand raised?
Yep, I'm promoting you to a panelist, Nick. And then I'm going to again try the same thing if we can get you on as
And
a.
I'm gonna stop sharing and maybe that will help. I did that for Mary Jo. We'll see.
Be
Make it
better. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Excellent. Probably better you can't see me anyway. So besides, I can say now that I have a PowerPoint too, but I can't share it. But no, I don't have a PowerPoint. So yeah, I work for the Holly Area Community Coalition, and obviously being a community coalition, we work a lot with our community in several things with underage drinking. One of the main things we do is we do ID checks and putting on wristbands at all of our local festivals and making sure that the drinks stay in their designated areas and only those with the wristbands are being served. And there's several festivals that we participate in and do that. We also participate in Sticker Shock. We have our middle school students go out with Susan Papel, my coworker, and they label all the bottled liquor for to show not to buy, the 21 to buy not supply and Parents Who Host type of information to people that are buying it. And one thing we started doing a lot more with recent events the last couple of years is talking more with our local village manager about new policies and ordinances, especially recently with a lot of things that have been coming up with COVID. Things like the drinking in the common areas, in public common areas, and just talking about, the dangers, liability for them and for, the people in our community with that, as well as going to our local council meetings and talking to them because they're the ones that are making those types of decisions, and just being really involved with that. And, Mike has really helped us and McCred has helped us to step up also in educating our legislator more about these issues and, helping give us ideas, things to pass along to them. And, I would encourage everyone to do more of that because it's really easy to do. And, it kind of can seem intimidating at first, but it's just really easy to do. They do want to hear from you. And I think it makes a big difference. And even if it's not as part of, sometimes we're afraid of that line of educating and lobbying, but just even on your own time, if you it doesn't take very long just to do it, to send that information along. And so that's something that we've been really doing more of lately. But of course, our main focus is educating youth and parents. We work a lot with the schools in that regard. And we do that through talking about the dangers of substance use, but also by instilling assets into their lives using the 40 developmental assets. And of course, this year that's been a little bit more difficult, but when we were in school, we helped students design campaigns around the dangers of youth alcohol use. And then even afterwards, we did some social media type campaigns with them too. But this year with everything going on, we do a summer camp every year. And so this year we had to make our summer camp a virtual summer camp. And so we recorded all of our sessions for the students. That included us talking and doing some activities and then showing a video. And we passed that out to our students. And then we also did some recording of sessions on staying above the influence for our 8th graders. And then for all of our 5th graders, we do a class on building assets in their lives. And then because of COVID and everything going on with that, we've created webinars for our parents about talking to the children about the dangers of alcohol use and other substance use also. And we did a really cool, I was kind of proud of this part. We did a virtual discussion about over a video from the Search Institute. They had a video on building stronger relationships with youth. And so we taped it through Zoom and then had a panel discussion about the video and how we could implement that in our work and how parents could use that in their talking with their students. And so that was a really, really neat thing that we did. And you can find all of those on our Facebook page too. So that's all I got.
Hey, Nick, thanks a lot. Keep up the good work down there in Holly. I appreciate it. And I appreciate you, working to educate your policymakers. And I was thinking of, before you mentioned it, I liked how you said it before about the Binder Park Zoo. On one of the calls, you kind of spoke up. It's pretty easy to contact the Liquor Control Commission and send them an email on the issue about, maybe why a zoo shouldn't get a liquor license. So I think it does make a difference. So keep up the good work.
Thank you. Thanks for all your help.
Yep. And
Okay, I received information in the chat that Marcel Arbuckle is here. Marcel, could you identify yourself so that we could let you make your shout out?
hang on, Marcel, I'm going to move you to promote the panelist. I'm going to try and promote to panelists, but also to see if we can promote them to a host instead of co-host. See if that makes a difference. But I don't understand why we cannot seem to get the cameras on.
Hello, I'm here.
Yeah.
And good morning, everyone. My name is Marcel Arbuckle. I'm the Executive Director of the Center for Urban Youth and Family Development, which is located in Detroit, Michigan on the west side. We service the 48238 and the 48204 zip code areas as far as our Coalition for Urban Youth and Family Development, which is a drug-free community coalition funded by the Office of National Drug Control Policy. For the Center for Urban Youth and Family Development, our mission is focused on youth that are in the foster care system and those that are transitioning out. We feel that fostered youth emerge from the foster care system vulnerable to substance abuse with little opportunity to obtain higher education or to develop life skills. The Center for Urban Youth and Family Development empowers youth that are in and are transitioning out of the foster care system to overcome the struggles and challenges by providing them substance abuse prevention, life skills training, and workforce development program. Drawing on my own life experiences, we open the door to a positive and productive life through education, health, and life skills development. We envision a community where foster children emerge from the system with equal opportunities in education, health, and career development. Through our Step Beyond program, foster youth gain valuable tools from approaching their futures with confidence, self-discipline, and a positive attitude. Fostered youth are instilled with the value of hard work and to make healthy life decisions informed by spiritual, social, intellectual, and emotional awareness. We believe that character, scholarship, uplift, and perseverance, combined with friendship, love, and truth, will lead to peace, happiness, and prosperity. Through our three-pronged approach of working with foster youth, healthcare advocacy, and community activism, we envision a strong and healthy communities governed by good public policies, which are not only essential for youth transitioning from foster care to flourish, but for all youth transitioning into adulthood. Our goals are to provide educational development and increase awareness among foster youth through our Step Beyond program, to provide positive role models to increase self-esteem among foster youth, to reduce the risk of youth turning to substance abuse by providing structured programs and workforce development activities, to improve the self-sufficiency of foster youth through the provision of life skills, development training, and semi-independent living facilities. We also work to increase education and awareness for prevention of catastrophic illnesses like cancer, diabetes, and hypertension. We conduct fundraising activities to allow us to make contributions to healthcare providers for research and health management. And we advocate on behalf of the citizens of our community for good public policy that promotes safe and healthy environments for us to live in. This summer, we have been focusing on several different programs. One, we were very fortunate to receive an award from the United Way of Southeastern Michigan that enabled us to provide COVID that's a tongue twister. COVID-19 personal protection equipment kits to youth that are transitioning out of the foster care system. We worked with the Children's Center here in Detroit to identify youth that are part of their young adult self-sufficiency program, which happened to be about 73 youth. And we took the award that we received from the United Way, $5,000, and purchased face masks, vinyl gloves, hand sanitizer, and backpacks, and put the materials in the backpacks along with resource materials about substance abuse prevention. We focused on marijuana, underage drinking, vaping, and tobacco. And we also included $5 gift cards from McDonald's and coupons from KFC, and distributed those to the 75 youth that are in that program. And they were very, very pleased to receive those. Most of those youth indicated that they would not have spent their own personal funds for personal protection equipment because they're trying to pay their cell phone bill and that kind of thing. So this was a really good outreach to a almost forgotten population within our community. Another thing that we did was we partnered with the National Council on Alcohol and Drug Dependency here in Detroit to create a summer youth employment program with the Grow Detroit Young Talent Program. And with the collaboration, we did a virtual program where every Tuesday from 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock, we had the youth engaged virtually through our Zoom platform. And we were able to give different workshops, college career development workshops. We had some representatives from Michigan State University on. We also had an entrepreneurial workshop conducted. We did workshops on obviously substance abuse prevention, underage drinking, vaping, anti-tobacco, and suicide prevention and mental health first aid. So that's where we have been focusing this summer. And obviously through COVID-19, we have really stepped up our work with digital media, creating a lot of PSAs. We also work with the Ask the Messenger program that comes on every Sunday on TV, WDL TV 20 at 8 o'clock a.m. And you can watch that show and you'll see 4 of our different PSAs that are being aired during the program. And then last but not least, we have our own monthly television show on WHPR TV 33. It's a half-hour show called Urban Review, and we use that as an opportunity to share substance abuse prevention messaging, suicide prevention messaging, and mental health first aid messaging, as well as update the community on various activities. If you would like to contact the Center for Urban Youth and Family Development, you can go to our website at www.cuyfddetroit.org. Also, you can email us at cuyfddetroit@gmail.com. Check us out on Facebook, also on Twitter and Instagram at CUYFDDetroit. And of course, on Facebook, it's it's www.facebook.com/CUYFD. And you can call us at 313-340-3101. Once again, that's 313-340-3101. Thank you for this opportunity, and thank you for a great Coalition virtual event. Thank you for allowing us to participate.
Okay, thank you, Marcel.
Hey, Mark.
Moving on to Amira Haydar, and I hope I'm saying that correctly. She has her hand raised.
Feel free to put that stuff in the chat box too, if you like, Marcel, as far as your Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that kind of stuff.
Will do.
All right, Amira, all right. Now this is strange. For some reason, it doesn't give me the option to make Amira a panelist. And I don't know if we've reached our threshold on panelists.
I was just going to say that maybe you have to take some of us off. Like I'm still on as a panelist.
Yeah, Mary Jo Harris is still on. Marcel is still on.
Well, Nick, I'm going to bump you off. You'll probably have to, I'm reluctant to bump somebody off because I'm not sure you can get back on.
I think you can get back on using the regular Zoom
link.
Yeah, because I went in through the Zoom link. I was on the call, and then you switched me over to being a panelist. And I think if you take me off, I'll just switch back over.
Okay. Right. Well, I'm trying to figure out, let's see more. I feel like I've lost my ability to change anybody right now. All right.
I'm gonna stop sharing. Does that help?
Let me see.
Could we just move to pressing the allow to talk button as opposed to trying to make a panelist?
Well, I don't even have that option on my.
But Amira might. Amira,
I can do that on my end.
Okay, okay.
Can you make anybody co-host? Kelly, are you able to do that?
Hello.
I hear Amira now.
All right, yes.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Amira, and I am a prevention specialist at LAHC, which stands for Leaders Advancing and Helping Communities. ACT, Drug Free Community Coalition, Advocate, Collaborate, Treat, is a proud coalition of the LAHC, and we have the mission of preventing and reducing substance use among youth through community partnerships. We have multiple campaigns that deal with underage drinking that we've been working on, including our youth safe driving campaigns and other parent or adult focused media campaigns. As for our youth safe driving campaign, through community-based partnerships, we basically, or in partnership with local law enforcement agency, the ACT Coalition organizes assemblies, well, this is pre-COVID, at various high schools in the area, typically during National Teen Driver Safety Week. And what we do is we'd engage high school students on the importance of not drinking and driving, not texting and driving, and administering an oath, as well as distributing don't text and drive bans. Also pre-COVID, what we would do is we have these goggles that basically simulate impaired vision due to alcohol use. And we would usually use those, have students try to give us a high five with and without the glasses, just to kind of give them an idea of the effects of alcohol on a person's vision. As for our parent or adult focused media campaigns, we know that alcohol is still the #1 drug of choice among teens, and that teens self-report that their #1 source of this alcohol is from parties and parent providers. So we did launch a campaign that aims to educate parents on the consequences of providing alcohol to those who are under the age of 21. Within these media campaigns, we have different programs such as the Life Skills Program, which is focused on substance use prevention among teens. And since we've transitioned to doing our prevention work online, we've mainly been creating videos and sharing information via live videos on our Instagram and Facebook, where youth and parents can interact in a live conversation on various topics. Life Skills helps youth build the skills they need to combat substances like alcohol use. And some of these skills include teaching them things like assertiveness and peer pressure resistance skills. So in addition to our media outreach, we also hold a You Lead program, which focuses on building skills in youth, such as how to be good role models, how to be assertive, and encourage them to attend leadership training workshops, as well as educating them on the effects of drinking and using other substances on our bodies and how it impacts our overall health. So besides that, we also have programs for the community, like our Safe Medicine Disposal Program, where we educate the community about the correct and safe way to dispose medications. We provide them with lists of drug box locations and also distribute Dispose RX, which is a medication deactivator. Along with this disposal program, we always educate them on the dangers of using prescription medications, especially when used with alcohol. And lastly, ACT also leads a smoking cessation program, which focuses on educating the community on the harms of smoking any type of tobacco, as well as the harms of secondhand smoking on themselves. We also do other prevention work within the community through like community events and educational youth assemblies. So that is all about ACT. I'm actually going to share some of our links in the chat box. It's going to include like our Instagram, our Facebook, and our website as well, in case anybody would like any more information. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amira. Next is Bill Edmondson from MyCap.
Okay, just give me 1 second and I'll get him
Okay.
unmuted. Let's see. I'm looking for, Bill, if you can hear me, if you could raise your hand. Oh, I found you. Okay. I was looking in the B's and it's a W. Okay. Sorry, the screen's jumping around on me. There it is. Okay. All right, go right ahead.
He's muted.
Pressed the right button. Let's see. I've enabled the talking, so Bill, if you can unmute yourself, you should be good to go.
And I reclaim.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes.
We can.
All right. Thank you so much for helping with that. And greetings to everyone on board here this morning. I'm Bill Amundson. I'm with the Michigan Council on Alcohol Problems. I'm a retired United Methodist pastor, and I volunteer for and am board member and treasurer of the Michigan Council on Alcohol Problems. That's MyCap. Just to let you know, I lost a brother to cancer, but he abused himself of alcohol and tobacco for years, and so it was not surprising. And then my wife lost her father by a gunshot from a drunken neighbor when she was 10 years old. So I have some vested interest in this whole project here. I would share with you that MyCap was founded in 1905. I call us a temperance organization because there is a prohibition organization in the state. They even try to run presidential candidates, but they don't get very far. And I doubt they get much of a hearing just because it's prohibition. So I call us a temperance organization. And our mission statement is this: the Michigan Council on Alcohol Problems, MyCap, works to educate Michigan citizens about the consequences of the use and abuse of beverage alcohol and other impairing drugs, and to promote public policies that eliminate or mitigate those consequences. We publish a journal. It's called the JADE Journal, Journal of Alcohol and Drug Education. It's a peer-reviewed journal. It's published 3 times a year. It's always breaking new ground in the articles that are published. Our reviewers will not give permission to do an article on the same old stuff, okay? That's been well documented in the literature, you know, for 2-3 years or more ago. We are also a small board. We meet 4 times a year. This is a heads up for anyone who would like to join our board. We're needing board members, so if any of you want to broaden your experience and contacts, you can contact Mike Tobias, or I'll type in our contact information, Mike, in a few minutes, and then you can put that out to people if you would, please. You already have Mike's contact information, I'm sure. And also, we're eager to diversify our board as well. We publish articles in a newsletter, what we call the MyCap Recap, that are related to alcohol consequences and situations in general, and specifically in Michigan. We do that 4 times a year. Besides board members, we're needing short articles, not longer than 2 8.5 by 11-inch sheets. Those would be type sheets, of course. One of the other things we do and have done for years is to contact state and federal legislators regarding legislation. We write letters urging for a particular vote and or white papers to impart information with them. I would share with you right now, there's a bill in the hopper in Michigan that would extend the on-premise licenses, well, I think all of them really, for sales to 4 a.m. You already know that the sales, even though they stop at 2 a.m., they go on till 2:30 for persons to have opportunity to drink the rest of their drink before they're through. And then they get in the car, and people who are headed to work at 3 or 4 o'clock, or hospital emergency rooms or whatever, they get hit by drunken drivers, etc. So we're not eager to have extension of bar hours. That 4 a.m. that they're looking for is just a stepping stone to 24-hour sales of booze. Let's see. I don't know that I have anything else right now. I would share with you again, we need some articles for our MyCap Recap, and we need some board members if any of you are interested, and I will send our contact information to Mike, and he can put it up on the screen when there's time. Okay, thank you very much, and I'm enjoying the conference. I think you folks that are heading it up are doing a fantastic job, and I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Bill.
You're welcome.
I'm sorry, did someone say something?
No, you're welcome.
Oh, okay, okay. Going on to Barry Smith, our McCrea co-chair.
Mute myself, that's always good.
Okay.
Share my screen. The Bay County Prevention Network has been around for approximately 30 years. Regarding underage drinking, there's a variety of different things that we're doing. We have revitalized our campaign called Underage Drinking Not a Minor Problem. Youth can't drink if adults don't provide. That's kind of the tagline of that campaign. And as part of that, one of the things we're doing is something very similar to what you'll see in front of you in a second here, which would be one of our bus ads. Even though we didn't have graduations, but this is kind of the bus ad that'll be going. Updated phone number as well. So this is kind of a draft of it as well. We have a geofencing campaign that we have going on, which is location-based. We heard yesterday about not the location-based, the targeted, the focused. And as our focus is on parents and alcohol off premises, so we have conducted our first round, and we're a little lower than Sarah and them were, but we're just starting out. We're about 0.14. So we're working on adjusting that as well. Our Teens Advocating Prevention Group, which used to be our Communities Addressing Alcohol Problems Together, has done some environmental scans and looked in the community outside. We're not asking them to go inside at all. We don't want to do any issues with distancing and things like that, but going with family, taking photos, looking for price, promotion, and product availability to see whether or not there's a concern there as well. Additionally as well, within the coalition, other things that we have is we know that opioids is a big, I should rephrase that, vaping is a big concern. So we collaborated with the Safe Journey and the Bexar Neck Great Start, as well as the Bexar Neck ISD. And we have a youth campaign called Get in Shape, Put Down the Vape, which is a bus ad that is also running as well. Additionally too, we have a very exciting campaign that we are launching called Chances Are. It is a anti-stigma campaign where we have Aranac, Bay, Midland, Mecosta, Isabella, Tuscola, Saginaw. I know I'm gonna miss somebody. We have 9 different counties that have combined and are starting our Chances Are basically is an analogy of chances are you know someone that has an alcohol or drug problem. I'm gonna try to play a quick short video here. So let me stop this really quick so I can show you the video. Then I'll answer any questions as well. This is a mock video. This is a draft video of what we'll be launching. Hopefully you can hear everything. I gotta move some things around here, so just 1 second. You move you guys out of the way. There we go.
Jungle.
If you can't hear it, let me know. You should be able to though.
Audio Jungle. Addiction does not discriminate. Addiction is a disease. Addiction is treatable. Chances are you know someone with a substance use disorder. Chances are they need support, not shame. By using non-judgmental, neutral language, we can remove stigma and improve treatment. Chances are your words can change lives.
And the neat thing about that is we have an opportunity to collaborate with Peer 360 Alliance. They're allowing us to use their webpage because they are in recovery and they have such a broad reach. Here in West Another County, by the way, there's an opportunity there. My bad. Technology is wonderful and it works right? Come on, stop. All right. So that kind of gives you an idea. And as well, we're doing International Overdose Awareness Day. I'll take about 1 more minute really quick. We're doing a Purple Out Day on Monday. We're asking everybody and anybody that we know in our community to wear purple, take a photo of it and put it on our Facebook page. We have purple lights that are going to be hung at our local hospital in the front entrance and the side entrances, as well as 10 to 12 different places in our community. And so that gives you kind of an idea of some of the things that we are doing regarding underage drinking and other substances. So thank you.
Thank you, Barry. It was very informative. And finally, Kelly Ainsworth is our next shout out, Chair of McCRUD.
I'll use my video capability since I have it. Hi, everybody. I was nominated by the GCPC to give the shout out since they're going to be doing the presentation later. So this is the least I could do to help my team out. I have tons of sticky notes like lined up in front of me. So forgive me if I look like I'm reading off of a script because I am. Okay, so we have been doing a lot of work around mapping lately. We've been working with Rick Sadler from MSU, who we heard present yesterday morning, and he briefly mentioned our work together. It started out as a marijuana specific mapping project, but as we were doing our work together on that, I realized the abundance of alcohol resources and experience and research they've been collecting. And so it felt like a no-brainer to go ahead and do alcohol outlet density mapping as well. So we generated those maps, and now we are looking to really figure out what the next step is. So we are working together to continue to build that project. It's very exciting. And McCRUD has been a great asset for that. And they're really the ones that connected us to Rick in the first place, even though he was in our own backyard. So that was really great to have that connection. One of the things that's on my radar, because I focus on both alcohol related issues and marijuana related issues, is making sure that we don't have retailers selling marijuana and alcohol on the same premise. I'm going to continue asking the question. I know we'll have the MLCC folks with us in the next couple of days, making sure that Lara and MLCC are talking to each other and making sure there's a process for keeping them separate. How do we know? Is there a flag that can go up? What can we do to make sure these are separate? Because we know that having them on site together is going to create more harm than good in the long run. So we also have some tracking of ordinances that we're doing, trying to build a good inventory, learning about social hosting ordinances. Most, if not all, in our county municipalities have ordinances around social hosting, but now we're checking in to see, okay, is it enforced? And do people know that it exists? Do people know what the penalties are? Are there any consequences that are actually happening? So we're really leaning into that to understand what work we need to do as the coalition to either increase the enforcement or just the awareness. In the same way, we're working on that with marijuana, really understanding what municipalities have ordinances that allow recreational marijuana sales, understanding who is welcoming it and is kind of like we're open for business. So really just leaning into understanding the climate of our alcohol and marijuana retailers and how our municipalities feel about that. On another end, we have been really working to beef up our social media presence. We were fortunate to have a social media coordinator contract with us to take on our social media sites completely so we can help generate the content, and she creates beautiful posts, and that's been wonderful for a small staff to have a dedicated social media person. We have been using her to also develop our website. She created an Instagram for us. So that's been really an asset for us. We've also been heavily promoting our community norms survey. This is our, if you're a DFC, a Drug-Free Communities Coalition, you'll understand why the need to get the local conditions and the root causes of substance abuse issues. And when I went through the academy last year through CADCA, it was like local causes and local conditions and root causes for 4 days straight, 3 weeks in a row. And I came back and I was like, we don't have this data. And so we worked with IBHA Analytics, Dr. Lubers and his team to put together a really great survey. And we're just about to wrap it up. And we're really just looking to gather information on underage drinking, youth marijuana use, vaping and opioid abuse, issues among youth 12 to 17, young adults 18 to 25, and then parents of those 12 to 17-year-olds. And one of the cool things about what we're doing with this survey, we've partnered with Sleek Fire Media. They're based out of St. John's, Michigan. And they have helped us install a Facebook, I'm going to probably say this wrong, a Facebook Pixel, which helps us target our survey to our audiences so we can increase survey participation. It's been kind of a struggle to get folks to participate. We've met our youth goal, but we're struggling, especially with the young adult category. So really hoping to cross the finish line with our numbers fully stocked, for lack of a better way to put it. Let's see, what else do I have here? Oh, we launched our second edition of our Youth Connections magazine. This is something that we saw our friends over in at the ACHC. They did a Youth Connections magazine. It's basically like a magazine that it already has articles loaded into it. It talks about substance abuse prevention, and there's some asset building things and risk and protective factor information for parents and youth. So it kind of comes already put together, and then you can personalize it based on your local information. And so that's been a great way to engage with our countywide sectors. And we've been really working to get those in the hands of folks, especially during COVID. We were putting those into the take-home lunches that schools were putting out. We had racks set up in various locations throughout the county, and it's just been a great way to engage with our community at a time where we really couldn't do much else. Let's see, what else do we have here? That might be it. Oh, one last thing. We are working to develop a network for our youth serving organizations in Genesee County. We have struggled to get a youth coalition built in the last few years. And so we're really being more intentional about how to do that and trying to not, reinvent the wheel. We know there are a lot of groups in our county that are working with youth. And so instead of becoming another one of those, we decided to kind of gather all of our youth serving organizations together and develop a youth advisory board out of the youth that are already involved in leadership and youth serving activities. And so we're really excited about that project and really want to get those youth that we, identify as key leaders in those groups working on prevention efforts. We want them to generate efforts and them to be the driving force. So a lot of great things in the works at the GCPC, and you'll hear about our parent toolkit today at 3:30. So stay tuned for that. And then I think I'm the caboose here because I'm going to kick it off. But I forgot what I was supposed to say. Oh, so we are going to go on break. Our next session is at 2:15, and that is going to be on action-oriented meetings. Very excited to hear from Joel. And then at 3:30, we will have, as I said, we'll have Emily Rose-Finkel and Carrie Chanter from the GCPC to talk about the Parents Create a Safe Space Toolkit that we have generated. So Mike, do you have anything else to add before we sign off for our lunch break?
Well, since we have a few minutes, if anybody has any questions, I think we could entertain any questions for some of the folks that shared some information. But I did see Marcella did have a question about what does the purple represent? I'm guessing that was directed to you, Barry, because I think you mentioned that, but do you have a response?
Yeah, the purple is part of the colors they use for International Overdose Awareness Day. So we're trying to stick with their theme. That's why we're using Monday, August 31st to launch everything on that area. So, and the neat thing about it is our hospital wrote an article to our stat line, which goes out to 2,500 different employees. So we're really thrilled for that. So
I believe some, I'm not exactly sure, but I think the recovery community uses purple as well. At least some recovery groups do. I'm not exactly sure officially connected to the recovery community, but I feel like it could be.
Yes, I believe it is. Just because it's all kind of, we're all interrelated when we look at that issue of the overdose issue. So yes.
Right.
Hey, Mike, I just thought of one more thing I forgot to mention that I wanted to plug. We have partnered with the Flint Serenity House. They're a holistic recovery organization, and Genesee Health System and New Paths, which is a treatment center here in Genesee County, to do a virtual screening of the film Is Your Story Making You Sick? And that's going to run, it launches Friday, so I think Friday's the 28th, if I'm not mistaken. and it'll be open for a week. So it'll be open on Friday and then it'll close on September 4th. And there's going to be a panel presentation on Wednesday, September 2nd. And it'll have the director of the film, a person in recovery who's featured in the film, and then also Tara Moreno, who is the executive director of the Flint Serenity House. This is a really great film about recovery, and especially from a holistic perspective. So it's open to everybody. I mean, we're expecting people even from a national level to attend. So if that's something that you're interested in, I'll drop it in the chat.
Great. I think you're on mute, Lisa, but are there questions, or is anybody else, we got a few minutes, if anybody else wants to give a quick shout out, we'd love to hear what else is going on around the state. I know there's other community coalitions on the call. We don't necessarily have to go a few more minutes, but I want to give an opportunity if people do have a question or want to just share a quick update, we'd love to hear it.
This is Bill Amundson again, and I did put that contact information on the question and answer. So if people want to look at that, they can get it. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they can get that out of the question and answer box or not, if it just goes to the panelists. But I did put
I think it's in the chat as well.
And any of our information will be on our Bay County Prevention Network, either Facebook page or website. Just put in Bay County Prevention Network or Bay County Prevention Network Facebook, and everything will be there. So that's our two housing pieces.
Okay.
Gotcha. Anybody kind of going once? We'd like to hear. Twice? Raise your hand. I see a new message. What's the new message?
We got a chat. That's from Kelly. Okay.
There's
Kelly?
Angela Johnson from Midland County.
All right.
Angela, would you like to share briefly? I can unmute you.
Go ahead. Help us out. Share something.
There she is.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Perfect. Yeah, so we are launching a campaign or a podcast next month. It'll be once a month, and the topics will range from positive youth development, focusing on the developmental assets, to substance use related topics. So we've designated a few, like on alcohol and nicotine and just various substances. And each episode will bring in community partners to help us discuss those topics. So we're really excited about that, especially during COVID, trying to connect with people. And in the past, town halls have always been low participation. So trying this route to see if we can gain more of a following and reach more people. So we're super excited about it.
Sounds great. And Angela, are you at the Legacy Center, or who are you with?
Yep,
Angela?
that's correct.
Okay. Yeah, the last 5 months or so, I've discovered podcasts during COVID. I've listened to quite a few over the last several months.
Yeah, they're really great and they're kind of trendy right now. So thought we'd jump on that bandwagon and see what we can do with it.
Great. How about Amy? Let's get Amy queued up.
I think I clicked that she could talk. Amy, go ahead and try.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, I just wanted to quick give an update. As we know, youth are into poly drug use, and I know this is an underage drinking coalition, but we are hosting a virtual vaping summit, and that will be on our Facebook at SCC Speak, SPEAK. SPEAK stands for our coalition, Substance Prevention Through Early Action and Knowledge. So we're hoping to, well, we are going to have a panel of experts, a principal from our local schools, a doctor who does a lot with respiratory and oncology, and then also hosting a youth member. So parents can call in and ask those panelists different questions. As vaping, we want to kind of harness the interest in that, as it's very trendy. And then maybe kind of get more people involved in our coalition as we move into the next year and expand our focus to more other topics like marijuana use and underage drinking. So that's what we're doing.
Sounds good. I think you said in your chat, our Speak Prevention Coalition is hosting a virtual vaping summit on Wednesday, September 23rd, 6:30 to 7. You can join us. I don't see if there's a link or anything. Oh, there we go. There we go. I see it now.
Yep, just it got split up there. So we're excited. It was a difficult year just launching this new coalition with everything that happened, of course, with COVID. But we just have to work differently, and virtual is where it's at right now.
Right. Barry shared virtual opiate conference with 5 McBath Press November 11th. Registration coming. But we got maybe time for one more trip. If anybody wants to go. Going once, twice. What we do? We got another hand up.
Looks like Jordan. Let me allow her to talk. All right, Jordan, go right ahead.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm Jordan Eidick with the Huron Valley Community Coalition, and we identified a problem that our law enforcement were not writing MIP tickets when they were busting up house parties. And so what we ended up working with was our 52-1 is our district court here that services. We're in Oakland County. And so we worked with our judge to make an education program that's similar to like a driver responsibility class, that if you take this class and are successful with it, then you are, your citation is forgiven, and that there's no misdemeanor or any record for the students with holding of their driver's license or anything like that. So we have one for vaping as well. But our big one was to address our MIPs, because we have 3 different local police departments, and all of them were really just kind of sending the kids home because they didn't want to ruin the futures. They didn't want to write the tickets. But now that there's this education piece, we have had over 55 MIP tickets written since February. So mostly high school teenage house parties. So we're getting some really good positive feedback there.
Yeah, that's great. Good work on that. It's important. Well, thank you very much, everybody. I think, again, this concludes our shout out session. We'll be back at 2:15. Joel Hoffner will be talking about action-oriented coalition meetings. So thanks again, and we'll see you in a few hours. Bye-bye.